Okay, so the third episode. So let's do a more complex design. Let's say you want to make like a Norseman. So we keep the small, like the size small again, like a 4x4 centimeters. So what we'll do is like, let's make some dude that's holding like a sword. So what I do first is I make like these really bulky shapes. And now what I do is I start like getting more in detail with the pencil. So let's do a nose for him. Now I'll show you a couple of tricks that I use. For example, here, you see like this arm is like a cross section. So what I do is I pull it here and do like a small curve. This gives it more style, and you will develop your own stuff like this. And with the hand, what you want to do is, I'll draw here really quickly. Like let's say this is the hand, right? I'm going to do like a very weird hand, and the shirt runs from here. So what I like to do is I pull this part, like so. Wait, I'll erase it so you see. So this is where the hand ends. And to make it wrap around, you don't start from here to here, but you go a bit more inwards, up, like these things. And now you make it like this. And then you go like this, for example. So it makes it look like his hand is actually inside it, in a sense. So I do it the same thing here. Now you add your small details, like the wooden planks here. And now it's time to like sketch it. You kind of can start from anywhere, but make sure you get the layer alignment down. And here I add the small details, like you see I did this thing. Now I'll add a mustache to him. And I'll add an eye. We have pretty much the whole thing done, and we're gonna make it more detailed. So you can take your eraser again to make the picture more clear and completely erase all of it. And now what you want to do is like you want to develop your own shadows. So the different ways you can do shadows, let's make like I don't know, let's make something like this. I don't know what that is, but basically you can make shadows like this, that they are like diagonal things. You can make them like this, so they run like straight. This was used in medieval times. Like you see it a lot in medieval art. The shadows are made like this. And then you have the dotting thing. And with the dotting thing, someone told me this, I don't remember who, sadly, but what you want to do is you want to start from the outside and move inwards where the shadow is going to end. So like from here to here, and get like this. So you would kind of like more randomly, and then get thicker as you get more inwards. Something like that. That's how I like to do the shadow. And also the one I mostly use, let's make something like this, is I draw a line here. And now what is like a pattern mix or pattern interrupt is I'll make this line and I interrupt it and make another line. I don't know, I think it leaves it a bit more color. So with this fellow, we just do the same thing. Now you want to decide where your sun shines from, so where the shadows are cast. So I'll do it from this direction. Now this means I will do my shadows on like this side here. So the shield's buckle, or whatever you call it, is gonna have a shadow here. And that's one thing. You see, I don't really draw like straight lines, and I used to be like really bothered about it. Like they do in Illustrator, for example. They have this perfectly straight lines with vectorized graphics and whatnot. And someone told me, like in artwork actually, it's better if you leave it like imperfect, because that really shows that your soul is behind it. They like explain it like that, but I think it has some merit to it. Like perfect things, they do have a nice sense and they do flow nicely, and you have like this golden ratios and whatnot, and it's like really nice to look at those things. But then again, like if you see something that's a bit rugged, there is some like beauty to it to make it more natural. So I'm gonna just continue making some of these here, the spear. And with my style, what you do is like where it gets brighter, so to say, it kind of like still it has the shadow, but it makes these dots like this pattern interrupts, right? And that is how you draw a shield resting dude. And with humans, what I usually do is even, let's say, take a clean place. What I would do is like a picture of myself. So I'm like sitting here, right? Well, it's way off center. So then what I would do is like, I would then again put the paper, like this paper, on top of my screen and trace myself kind of like rough shapes, you know. So I would see how the human body is positioning itself, because it's really hard to draw it like naturally at first. This is the recap for the second video and the third video. So to add more interest to things, I'll take my 0.31. So yeah, to add more interest to things, like a straight line, curve it when it ends. And what I usually do is I don't take like a spiral at the end. You can do it, but what I usually do is like this, because I check the historical art from the Viking Age and they almost always have it like this. If something comes like this, it's like this always. Almost always, I think. It's never like super overdone, something like this, for example. You don't see it like this. It's almost always like this. So, and how to do, yeah, now that we're at it, is the patterns, the Norse patterns. So let's say you have a pattern. Let's say we have a sword pattern. So what happens here is that they go over and then under, and always like this, over, under, over, under. So if I go over, next up I'm going under. So if the thing comes from here, it goes over, next up it needs to go under. And another thing, if the lines go, like the lines come like this, always they curve only one way. It's never that they go like this and then they go under something. You don't see things like this, and I think it doesn't look that good as well. So it's always like it does a curve and so on. Those are the two tips as well that I'll give you. And keep your things small. This is once again like close to my little finger, and do pattern mixes. Like for example, if we were to do a sword, kind of cool, right? But what a pattern mix up in a sword would be like, you have a dent in it. Then perhaps you have a dent in here. Not like that heavy, of course. And then this one maybe has like a bit of a dent in it. And these like two like this. La la la. And then stripe them together, so it's more interesting. I like a thing under it. And with cuts, I should probably do like small tips video as well. With cuts, you don't want to leave it like this, but pull a bit inwards as well. You see, it makes it like more realistic. So yeah, try with simple stuff, don't give up. And if you do give up only for a day. How you learn new things is you do them every day a bit. It's the same, like you have like 24 hours. You can find the time to sketch for like, say, up to 30 minutes. You don't even need 30 minutes. Just sit down, pull a line, trace it, and add a curve at it. And you've already done more than you would have without drawing it, you know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope it helps.